Hey guys, it's Al, and I'm back for Altruistic Channel. So, on this particular segment, what I was going to address directly was one of my favorite topics in the world, which is the correlation between spirituality and hope for not only saving ourselves as a race, but for saving the planet. So essentially, the way that that came about is because obviously, if you look at life in general, we have kids with semi-automatic weapons, and we have people who are so divided by their politics that they can't even look at each other. And then we have a bunch of people who are completely just completely not attached to anything anymore, and have become so isolatory that they have no value in even their voice. They don't vote, they don't care, they don't want to get upset. It's too much for them to represent who they are, and so that's a crisis. That's like a state of crisis for the planet, and specifically for humanity. And all along, as we're working through this stuff, it's really an internal monologue that's now being externalized to such a degree that collectively we've manifested a kind of a stalemate across the globe. We are also putting the planet in danger, and the planet is increasingly becoming unable, in my opinion, to hold all of and harness all of this negative energy and all of this non movement or non-decision making that we're doing, where we're just allowing these assholes to keep talking to us about there not being global warming, and all the while we're watching the planet die. And then we're looking at our children and we're going, we're going to have more of you, but we're not going to have a planet for you to live on. So we're now entering the asinine phase of evolution. And so as a part of that, what I've looked at was what would be the one thing that hopefully would work to bring us back together again. And the truth is, there's no one size fits all, not even in education, not even in spirituality. But in the construct of one of the most divisive things, I found the answer, in my opinion, which was organized religion. Obviously, is the most divisive thing to ever have existed in on the planet, because it started out as a pure governing agent, basically, that would help guide us, and has been transformed into a hate-mongering and divisive tactic type entity that does really naughty things, and so we've become disassociated. But within that construct, it does not change the fact that it's built on the faith principle of spirituality, understanding your connection to a higher sense of self and a grander design, a bigger being, God, Allah, whatever you believe it to be. But we've spent so much time in an egocentric way of looking at it that we've always needed to attach our name to that deity, or our faith base as the governing faith base over other faiths. Well, no. At the end of the day, faith is the one universal agent that bonds all humans. If you're a man of science, I've said this before, you may claim that you have no faith in a higher being or a grander design. But you must, because otherwise you wouldn't make the assumptions you make in order for you to test things that are not known yet. You are assuming, you have faith, I should say, that we will be able to answer the question that you are seeking. And in that in itself is faith. But more to the point, if you are a man of science, then you are giving your faith to the principle of humanity being able to work something out. So either way, everyone on the planet has this. So what I want to do as part of the collective for my part of the mission is focus on spiritual guidance and leaders from around the world who are open to the concept of being united in our faith while still owning and exemplifying what it is that we believe in our religion, if we want. Because in that way, I think that we can then take that model and reflect it back on society and say, hey, this is what we can do to make society better. We can all work as one team, but have a bunch of assholes or jackasses as individuals that are part of that team, and still accomplish great things. And so that's what the mission I have in mind is built upon. Having said that, within that concept, we would have to then address the aspects that deal with the planet dying. Okay, I don't care who the fuck you are. At the end of the day, here's the way I look at something, and I think you should probably at least consider this. When it comes to global warming, stop entertaining these assholes who say there's not going to be global warming. Because of two reasons. One, they're not going to be alive to deal with the penalties for not taking it seriously. They'll be dead. And then the second part is that because of the fact that they are denying it and you're still engaging it, you're being distracted from action. And we need to be on an action stance, right? So in that way, what I would like to do with the spirituality aspect is pray and bond together in the quest to save not just humanity, but the planet. Because I believe if we save the planet, obviously we save humanity. So it's a dual purpose type of thing. And so that's why, for me, spirituality is such an important aspect to all beings. And it's why I want to engage all of the spiritual leaders and all of the different religions and all of the different facets of faith. I want to know all about it because we can present each other what that means and what that translates to in a way that we can relate to it, and then be able to move as one entity, understanding that the core value of all people is oneness with something grander than us. And then by doing that, we can then all think together as to how we're going to save the globe in a quick fashion. And in order to do that, I wrote books, and The Moon King with No Kingdom and A Dual Purpose, and I did all of that to kind of connect with everybody, kind of saying like, here, I have a really great idea. I know it's really simplistic, but nothing that we are doing so far is working. It's usually something simple and almost minuscule that makes a world of difference, and I happen to have that information. So I've been trying to get through with this particular aspect, but I think now it's the perfect time to essentially strike, in the sense that that's what Altruistic Channels is all about. That's why I'm incorporating and showing executives and people from around the world and leaders how to incorporate their spiritual journey with their actual physical journey, and how that oneness is going to save the planet. It's all connected. It's all interconnected and always has been. So join me, I hope, by liking, subscribing, or sharing this, and then also visit me on my Altruistic Channels, Arbaldo personal account. Find me online. And then also, just guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. We're building a community here that believes in spirituality more than any religion or doctrine. We don't adhere to a religion. There's no mass. It's just about you taking ownership and creating a better life for yourself. This is about empowerment, walking in divine guidance. That's it. It's a wonderful path. Anyway, that's it for me, Al, at Altruistic Channels.